Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary and high school age. Today is going to be a weekly plan with me. It is already, well, it's February 9th when I'm recording this. I can't believe we're already 9 days into February. It is going much faster than I expected it to. It really is going much faster. And it's just a little crazy. We have our homeschool break coming up, and so I'm just mainly focused on getting through to that point and then revisiting, because I think we only have maybe like 40 or 45 days of school left for the year, which is crazy. I know that sounds like super early, and it is, but it's because we start in July. And so we do take a big chunk of time off in December. However, not all of that is just a break. We have a couple of weeks where we're super focused on passion projects, and I do give my kids credit for that time because they're working essentially all day on whatever their passion project is. For Jack, that has been a lot of digital music production as well as animation for his animated series. I'm looking through my stickers right now for some weather stickers, which I seem to have misplaced, but yes, I'm not sure where they are. And Emma has been working on her book, and so they spend hours and hours and hours working on that stuff, and I want to give them credit, which I do, but it just means that our days of homeschool, it's a little bit different. So we'll see. We'll see how the next couple of months play out. I'm looking forward to having the week off that we have coming up, mainly because January was such a bust, and that's okay. I think that one of the things that is really interesting about a new year is that we often will have like a ton of good intentions and energy right at the beginning of the year in order to really get things done. But there are some years that don't pan out, and this was one of those years for me. And I have had these years in the past. In fact, right now I am talking about my monthly reset day and how that kind of came to be, and the things that I have really focused on over the past 10 years or so in order to kind of keep my life on track the way that I want it to be. I don't want to feel like life is happening to me. I want to feel like I'm in charge of my life. Now, obviously, there are some days and weeks and months and even years that I do not feel in control of what is going on, and that is totally okay. But there are things that I can do to manage my expectations, my family's expectations, and to make sure that I am making room for what is important to me. And that's really the bottom line, is that I am putting time on my calendar for myself, and obviously for my family and my community as well. But if I don't take care of myself first, everything else will just not be as good. I won't be able to be as fully involved as a parent, as a spouse, as a community member, as a member of my church, unless my personal feelings are good. It's like when you're on an airplane and they tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first. It is something that I struggle with, and I know a lot of people do. So I've been talking about my monthly reset day over in my membership community and reminding myself at the same time that when I started to implement these thinking days or monthly reset days, it was a long time ago, number one, and it was not in January. It was, in June was the first time that I set aside time for like a reset or a planning day or a planning retreat. It was not in December, it was not in January, it was in June. And even when I really went deep with my monthly reset days in 2017, that's when I started having a real monthly reset day. I didn't start in January, I started in February. That was when I first had my first monthly reset day. And so it doesn't really matter when you start or how the start of your year is going. It's just that you start. So I'm doing the weather right now with my Planner Kate stickers, and we've had a lot of snow in the past week. And it's kind of funny because we haven't had any snow at all. Like, we had no snow in December. I mean, we had a little bit, but then it would melt or it would rain right afterwards. And now we have probably about a foot of snow, and I think we're supposed to get another 8 inches on Thursday, and I don't know what's going on next weekend for snow, whether or not that will actually happen or not. It is good because Lucy loves to go sledding in the snow. We have some great hills at our house for sledding. My older kids, you know, the temperatures have to kind of be right for them to want to get outside to play in the snow. But this past week, they have been out quite a bit, which has been good. I'm kind of over the snow at this point. So one of the things that I did this month on my monthly reset day was I took the little book icon stickers that I used to use, and I started putting them back in my monthly so that it will prompt me to check my book journal for books. I used to, before I started keeping a book journal a few years ago, I would write when there were new releases in my monthly calendar. Well, I kind of ran out of space to do that, so it was much better for me to write them in my book journal. And then what I did was just put like a little book icon sticker in my monthly calendar so that when I'm setting up my week, I refer to my monthly calendar and I see that, oh, okay, there are new books coming out. So I want to check and see them to see if I can read them. I actually did just get a couple of books from the library, which I'll show you in just a second. And actually, I haven't even done my brain dump for the week yet, so I have to do that. The 2 books that I got from the library, Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling and A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. I don't know anything about these books. This one is new, came out in September, and I did download a sample. I think I read maybe the first 4 chapters, and then I decided I would check it out. I don't think they're not YA, they're adult, but fantasy and dragons. So that seems to be the theme right now. So I'm going to check those out because I've definitely been in a reading slump since Onyx Storm. I did read From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata, which I absolutely love. That's a reread for me though. And I've just been looking for some books, but I've been really mainly doing nonfiction recently. So I, every week, come in and do a brain dump for the week ahead. And I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to do my brain dump so that I have a good handle on what I want to do in the coming week. So when I'm brainstorming my week, I will come and look at my goals for the month. I do not put everything on my tending list into my calendar for the month on particular days, and that is mainly because that honestly does not work for me. We have too much fluidity of our days. Yes, I can plan some bigger things, and I do plan some bigger things. Like, I know that I do my homeschool planning mostly on Sundays. I know that I do my weekly planning on Sundays. The Sabbath is Sunday. Passion projects are Wednesday. Screen-free days, Friday. Some of these bigger monthly projects are things that I know going into the month that I should have enough time for. However, it really depends on the month. For example, January was a mess. I thought I was going to accomplish a lot more than I did. I did still get quite a bit done, but it was not all of the things that I wanted to get done and not in the way that I wanted to get them done. And so I didn't know that I was going to be sick for most of the month, or that my kids would be sick for the rest of the month. So you kind of just have to take it as it comes. And so that's what I do. This week is going to be mainly focused on school. We do have a few things that I want to get written down here. So Monday I have dust and Monday reset. It's usually a day that I do grocery shopping and food prep as well, but because today is the Super Bowl, I actually went grocery shopping yesterday. I plan to have leftovers probably most of the week because I make way too much food. Actually, I'm going to do pulled pork nachos here. Wednesday is dust electronic screens and electronics in general. Monday, I have a week of daily plans. It is my first week of daily plans in my daily duo for this year, so that was exciting. I'm happy about that. Tuesday, I have a homeschool organization vlog. Wednesday is a collab on how to find community as a homeschooler, and my video is not what you think. Thursday, we have our live stream at 2:30. We have a live stream every Thursday at 2:30 in my membership community. If you are interested in working on goals or a project or planning or just like hanging out, I would love for you to come check us out. We use the Pomodoro technique of 25 minutes of focused work followed by a 5-ish minute break, and we do a couple of Pomodoro cycles. I talk about books I'm reading and some other fun stuff going on, and the chat is always open for questions and help. It's a really nice time, and I always get so much done during that time, and I think that my members do as well. I would love for you to come join us. Friday, I am supposed to be putting together a kids chores video. I have filmed the first part, but I need to film the top-down section. So I'm going to put that on Tuesday. I have been trying to do my filming on Tuesdays. I think I would like to move it to Wednesdays because Wednesdays are our passion project day. However, I think I said this maybe last week as well in one of my videos that when Wednesday comes around, oftentimes the reason I'm filming on Tuesday is because I don't have Wednesday's video ready. I would ideally like to be way ahead, but because the content that I share is so seasonal and specific for specific seasons, yes, that was helpful explanation, right guys? I struggle to film too much ahead of time. And it's actually one of the things that I put on my list is to brainstorm taking the summer off. This is something that I have wanted to do forever, but I've never figured out how to manage it. And yeah, I'm just not sure. Summer is actually kind of a busy time for me because people have a lot of questions about homeschool curriculum and everything like that. And I also run a large Facebook group for Maine homeschoolers, and they have a lot of questions and such. So, but it is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And it's really because I used to read Tish Oxenreider's blog long time ago, like maybe 2007, 2008, 2009. I can't even remember what it was called. I know that she changed the name a couple of different times, but she always talked about taking like a 6-week break in the summer. And I was like, oh, that sounds lovely. But that was when I was kind of starting my business and building it, and I didn't think that I could. And now I just don't know. Anyways, I know that you guys don't care about that, but it is something that I want to consider, how I can maybe not take the entire summer off, but cut down a lot of what I typically do in a week. I don't know. EC unboxing, if this actually comes on time. I also want to do homeschool plan with me, reverse record keeping. And then the other thing that I want to film is Emma has talked to me about starting a podcast. We've kind of gone back and forth. I don't really have many ideas, but I did want to kind of sit down with her and chat about how she's a year early for homeschool graduation, what her thoughts are, kind of all of the things that she's been thinking about with college and working and just homeschool in general and how she feels about things. I thought that that would be kind of a fun video to do. I don't know when we'll actually sit down to do that. I would like to do it this week, but I have a feeling it won't be this week because we're trying to get a lot of homeschool stuff done. That's really my focus, and it's kind of why I don't have like a ton on here for things to do at the moment. We'll see. All right. So Thursday, I have restock toilet paper. I have paperwork, sort and file. I have spend tracking and budget / bills. And most of this stuff I will do during my live stream. It's like a perfect time for me to do all of that financial stuff and some planning stuff. So I will most likely do it then. Friday, I have wash sheets and bathrooms, and technically I'm supposed to wash the floors, but snow means I'm not washing the floors. I didn't last week either. But you know what? It's okay. We're just going to go with it. Saturday, I did a lot with my taxes this past week. However, a couple of 1099s that I got were incorrect. And so I have to follow up with those companies this week. Wednesday looks like it might be a nice day. Maybe we'll get out of the house some. I do need to go to the post office actually tomorrow. I'm going to put Emma meeting on Wednesday because Passion Project Day would be a good day to kind of work on that. Friday is Valentine's Day. Don't know if we'll be doing anything on Valentine's Day or not. It's also Matt's birthday this week. I don't know if we'll go out to dinner. I've got leftovers on his birthday. Probably need to fix that. Probably we'll do leftovers here and then pizza here. I don't plan meals on the weekend necessarily. I do need to think about Izzy's surgery. She is having surgery for a lump, which we don't know if it's cancerous, and it's quite large next to her shoulder, and so I need to kind of prep space for that. It's one of the reasons that I need to get the entryway cleaned up. When am I going to do that? I think I will put the entryway over here. And that is part of my goals for the month. Okay, I think this is my pretty basic week. We obviously will have homeschool all week, and trying to finish up a lot of what we have been working on since we got back to school in January. I've really been feeling the pull to just get rid of everything again. It's so funny because when my kids were little, when I just had Emma and Jack, it was very, very different than it is now for me. And I know that that sounds weird because when you have little kids, you don't have a ton of time. It's so busy. There's so many interruptions. However, I do have to say that when my kids got older, like upper elementary, and then I had Lucy, who was still very little, essentially when we moved into this house, it almost seems like I gave up a lot of the things that I normally would focus on. And that was things like all of my creative habits, like knitting and sewing and kind of making do with what we had, or making a lot of stuff from scratch. I had all of these rhythms and routines, but then when we moved into this house in 2020, everything shut down and I got out of those routines, was kind of just going on whatever we could do to make it work. Whatever we could find was the name of the game at that point. And I lost a lot of those habits and I've never recreated them. And obviously, that's on me. You would think when everybody was home and everybody else is working on all of these home projects and things like that, I wasn't. I was sick for most of 2020, which is crazy. And I just got so out of sync with all of the things that I didn't know where to go. And that's one of the reasons that this year is all about create for me and creating new systems and really figuring out exactly what I want. It's just one of those things that I've been focusing on, and I'm thinking, it's funny because I'm referring to a lot of stuff that I used to do and a lot of resources that I have used in the past but haven't really looked at as much lately. It's reminding me of these things, and then I'm kind of thinking, well, when my kids were really little, when I just had Emma and Jack, even though I was very busy, like lots of interruptions and stuff, we weren't necessarily out all of the time. And then we get to this point in time where my kids are a lot busier with outside the house activities, and homeschool is a lot more in depth with like middle and high school level stuff. And so I need as much time as I can get. And then now I'm kind of at another place where Emma's almost done with school. Jack is very much able to do his own thing and just work through his work. Yes, I have Lucy, but now I have more time to do some of those creative pursuits. Like last week, Lucy and I were sewing for like 2 days, and that's like, she made like 6 pillows and hand sewing everything, and and using embroidery floss, and going through the fabric that I have. And it was so interesting to me to think these are things that I used to do with my older 2 kids, and then we just had a chunk of time where we weren't doing any of that, and now we're trying to get back into it. Anyways, I have definitely been contemplating a lot lately. And I think that's because January was such a mess, and I just had a lot of time to think because I was just not feeling great. And, you know, what are the most important things? I mean, I know what my most important things are. It's my family, it's my relationships. That hasn't changed. But how I want to manage those things adjusts every year. And I want to try new things every year. And so that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. So here's my week. I know that there's not like a ton of stuff on here, but I think that's mainly because of homeschool. I am ready for our break week in February. I think it's going to be quite good. At least that's my hope. I want to do kind of like half fun stuff and half like get the house in order and all of my projects for my goals. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would love for you to come check out my membership community. Again, if you're interested in more help around home and homeschool and goals, I would love for you to come check us out. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.